Hey guys, Saf here, and today we're going to be talking about a new game that has just had its stream announcement for a launch date, Etheria-restart. Thank you very much for Etheria-restart today for sponsoring today's video. Now, I've just got off watching their latest live stream, which goes through a lot of details, announces the launch date, which is going to be June the 5th. Make sure if you want to pre-register, click the link in the description in the pinned comment below. You can pre-register on the site on your desired platform. Now, this is a new hero collector that is coming that is going to be available on all devices, PC, Android, iOS, the works, which is really great. It's got cross-platform. And the team over at etheria-restart have put together a pretty good presentation here of how the game is going to play. etheria-restart is set in a post-apocalyptic environment where the world has had a calamity and they've invented a sci-fi world that you can hyperlink into, and that now is under threat. So you're hyperlinking into the Animus and using playable characters, heroes that you can collect, to defend and fight in the Animus world. It is really quite an interesting concept. It's quite exciting. The visuals and the experience you see is quite cool. Now, it is an open world exploration type of game where you run around, you fight different people, but it is built on a turn-based game system. So if you've played any turn-based game before, then you will see the familiarities, similar aspects of that. There is tons and tons to do in Etheria-restart. There's loads of different game modes. And what they showed on the live stream was pretty expansive. There's about 50 characters coming on launch, which is quite a good roster of different characters. There's lots of different free characters you get right at the start as well, so you can get straight into the game. And you can see right now all the different combat animations, and the experience you see in game is pretty visual. It's pretty exciting, and there's lots of kind of cool animations and ultimate abilities going on. It's pretty fun and exciting to play. Now, it is a hero collector game, which means you have to summon characters using summoning equipment. But I think Etheria have approached this in a very interesting way. They're very reticent and kind of conscious of what we've seen in many different competitive games at the moment in terms of, you know, if it's a high cost of entry. And they've basically built a system here where they haven't got a 50-50 at all. A lot of games like Honkai Star Rail and King Arthur Legends Rise and a couple of other games that we play in this genre, all of them have a system normally where you summon on the exclusive banner for a brand new character and you kind of get a 50-50 chance. etheria-restart have gone completely away from that, and if you summon the materials, it's a pretty known, it's 100 crystals, you will get you can get Freya. And I think it also goes, I think in the interview later on in the stream, they also said it's going to go straight into the normal summoning pools. If you don't have the resources to be able to get them straight away, you can get them as a free-to-play player as well. So the accessibility to Etheria-restart is a really big feature that they announced. Going to be able to get a pretty good starting roster, 4 different or 5 different characters that's going to really help you through. With Liane also being a damage dealer, they've suggested is going to be extremely good all the way through the game content. Then we have the new character that is coming on launch called Freya. Freya is going to be the exclusive summon, the sort of SSR character. Seems to be a bit of a very strong support. It does a lot of things, like it gives you nightmare and blessings. You can heal from the nightmare. You can kind of like give yourself some damage buffs, control turn meter, and kind of manipulate it. Sounds like a really big pickup. And the summoning aspect of it means that you can get it with a guaranteed known quantity. So you can make those decisions as a player, which I think is really, really good. And they went into detail on the live stream as well, the sort of the preview of the character's abilities. I'd recommend, if you really are liking what you're seeing here on the screen and you're interested to see more, go watch the 30-minute or I think it was about an hour live stream that I watched, and it'll go through in detail and you can see all the features that are coming into the game. I'll put that link in the description as well. Now, with all good hero collectors, of course, there is character progression, and etheria-restart is really good. You've got lots of different progression systems, and there's no weapon system like you see in some games. There is a shell system though. Now we've got modules, and modules seems to be a bit of it's still gearing and what you would normally come to expect from these games, where you have like a primary stat and substats. I think the stats on the left are kind of fixed, and the ones on the right you get more choice. But they've gone for a kind of a modular approach in the name of modules, where you get different matrix bonuses, and those things can be combined with different gear sets to get yourself like a really sort of strategically relevant build for the character that you've built, the Animus that you've built. Quite a lot of matrix on launch. You can see that there's, you know, like this control ones, there's damage ones, there's ones that give you stats, there's ones that gives you sort of bonus multipliers. And it's not as simple as just like pick one set and put the character in. There's a bit of depth to it, which I really enjoy. From the live stream, I could see that they're really trying to approach strategic thinking in the way that you progress your character. You also can get shells from playing the game's content. Shells are kind of like the weapon systems you see, but they're like pets that can give you passives and alternative options. So that is quite a cool system they've come up with there, where you can farm and acquire these over time and upgrade and progress them and get different rarities and kind of like evolve the character to another tier. It's the usual setup that from what I can see on the live stream that they showed, which is you need to kind of upgrade your character, put characters in to rank them up, and progress the character for your animus as you go along. One of the things they did preview in the live stream is the open world isn't just a case of complete a stage, fight the enemy, and off you go. You can actually use the open world to your advantage by ambushing certain teams to kind of get away from having to fight them, but you will always have to fight them. So once you've built your character here, you can bring them into battle, and the battle then is what you face. It's standard turn order. You can see on the screen, you can manipulate it. You take different turns. The faster your character speed, the kind of like team building aspect you can get there. And there's lots of diverse animuses, like some damage dealers, some support. So I think team building is going to be quite fun from what they showed in the preview. Now, in addition to the main campaign, they've also got tons of game modes. They were talking about trial challenges, which are going to be different types of challenges depending on what you've got. You've got the Anasync Echoes here, which seems to be a specific animus to animus unique series of challenges getting you lots of rewards. That's kind of cool that you get a new animus, you get a new challenge train to go through, new content. As you're not just getting a character, you're getting content to go with it. They've also got cooperative fights, which looked extremely interesting. I've not seen that many like sync cooperative fights going on, sort of live cooperative fights, which looks extremely fun to play from what I could see on the screen. There's also the Ember Trek, which is kind of like a progressive sort of tower-like system. There's a big focus as well, not just on PvE, on PvP, but in PvE alone. If you want to play this, you're not a big competitive player, there's loads to do. There's loads to progress. There's storylines, there's adventures, there's big boss fights, there's different team strategies you need to give. There's also an effect, they showed a bunch of different mini-game type things where you can play the pre-battle mini-game, and then it will affect the way that the boss fight works. And it's the live stream was showing substantial amount of game modes, and considering it's not even out yet, the game looked extremely polished. So there's always a different way to play the game. It isn't just doing the same content piece over and over again. They also showed extremely cool feature as well, which I thought was quite good, which is background battles. So you can set up the system where essentially if you want to kind of farm gear at the same time as doing other things around the game, then you can do so and come back to it. Once you complete the game content mode for a certain number of stars, then what you can do is you can enable continuous mode. And what that continuous mode is going to do is it's going to fight the battle for you in the background here. We can see as we move forward. So you can minimize it and then do stuff to build out your characters, play different other fights, you can fight different things. And when you come back, you can get your rewards. That's a really great quality of life time saving for a player who maybe wants to focus on preparing some new animuses for various different competitive modes, but they still want to get the gear and get their daily stuff done on a daily basis. It's a great assistant, and that's coming in launch, which is a great idea. Now, they talked a lot about a competitive mode, but also social systems in etheria-restart. They have the union system, which allows you to play with your friends, and then there's obviously a union boss that you can get rewards. There was a lot of systems designed to help you like work with your union members, so you can share different characters, you can give different bonuses, you can chase different rewards. So it's not just a case of being in a non-social environment. Those social settings matter. The people that you're playing with matter. They will help you. There's also a pretty sort of scary looking boss that I looked at in the stream there, and it works very similar. Like you progress as a clan, and as you get it, you defeat it, then you get more rewards. So the union is pretty important to work with each other and join one to get the rewards. But they did talk a lot about a competitive scene that they want to establish in etheria-restart. It's very ambitious, but it sounds extremely interesting. They're going to launch with 3 arena modes. They're going to launch with a standard sort of ladder where you have to defeat your opponent's defenses. You need to have a good defense. You have to climb the ladder. They have live real-time action PvP. And then they also have a very cool tournament style bracket system, which I think is actually the future of these games. This is where you essentially will partner up with 8 players during a summit arena window. And during that window, you will have a mini tournament bracket to see who can win that tournament bracket. So it's kind of like taking the concept of the ladder, but making it a tournament. And that's the Fearless Arena. They've also talked about having the ability for you to become a competitive, like an esports side of things. They're going to be doing an Etheria World Summit, where if you're a very good player and you climb to the highest ranks, and if you're in the closed beta right now or on launch, you can qualify. there's actually cash prizes available. They really want to like present it as a big competitive scene. So the options for competitive is there. That seems to be like their end game approach, not just the PvE content, but you know, you're building towards this PvP team building strategy and trying to take down your opponents in the arenas. And they also gave a little bit of a hint drop that there's going to be a guild versus guild mode after the launch, not on launch. This is going to come a little bit later. That is going to come after launch as well. So that's Union versus Union. So it's really curious to see how they then do content afterwards. They've already announced 4 new characters on top of Freya for the launch and new shells. So the content is coming thick, fast, and really, really quick. So those are going to be exciting. So I think, you know, after watching the stream, the game looks extremely polished. It looks like there's a lot to really look into. It seems to be a more considerate for you as a player as well, and I think that's a big factor these days, that you know, the spend habits of players and how much time you can commit to the game has been something that I could see from this stream that they have really kind of taken consideration about. They've kind of considered your time and your money and how best you want to spend it and how best you want to use it. So I think that's a really commendable thing that I can see from the live stream. So I'm going to leave it there. Thanks so much for etheria-restart for sponsoring today's video. Check out the game, pre-register, click on the link in the description. June the 5th is the official launch date. There's also an upcoming beta test in May, which you can sign up for. That is also going to be taking place as well. You can see right now on screen, I've got the official redeem code as well. You get some bonus goodies for launch on June the 5th. And then there's also going to be the beta test that is going to be happening on May the 8th to May the 19th. And if you're spending during that window, they have like a rebate system that if you want to buy into the game in the beta, that will come across to you as well. So thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next video.